Hello.
Yes, can I speak with Sterling?
Hey, this is Sterling. Is this Danny?
This is Danny. How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just awesome.
Good. Thanks for being prompt. You're right on the money.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Have they got you booked up all day today?
Pretty good bunch of stuff today. Yeah, we fortunately there's 6 of us, so we split them up. I think I've got about 5 today, and then everybody's got several. So we've been doing it for about a solid week. Actually, it's been a lot of stuff going on. It's good that people want to talk to us.
Yeah, that's certainly better than not talking to people. That's for sure.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I know you're probably booked up, so let's jump right in if you don't mind.
Oh, sure, it'd be great.
Okay, cool. Of course, your new project, it just came out yesterday, is the Grascals and Friends Country Classics with a Bluegrass Spin. Now, tell me, how did the idea for this project come about like this?
Well, we've been talking with Cracker Barrel for probably nearly 3 years about doing something with them, and the guy that was over the music there and everything knew the band, friend of the band, and knew that we had a lot of friends in the industry, and we've always brought in guest artists on every CD we've done. So we've been talking about how cool it would be to actually just do a CD and just basically make it with the Grascals and Friends. And so we started talking with them about it, and they loved the idea, and so we started talking to friends, and everybody was up for it. And I have to say, it's a pretty big undertaking trying to get the schedules of all these people lined up. It's especially with ours. We think we're busy. You're trying to get Brad Paisley or Joe Nichols or Dolly Parton on something. I mean, good grief, those guys are bombarded constantly. So it was a pretty big scheduling nightmare. But fortunately, they all good friends of ours and just really wanted to make it work out, and it did. And so we're just really excited about the album. And then as the album was coming together, we went and we go every year and play a festival up in Columbus, Ohio, called the Musicians Against Childhood Cancer, the MAC Festival.
Right.
And we go down to St. Jude's every year and present, for the last 3 we have, and presented them with the check that the festival generates for them. And we're down there this past year and going into the lunchroom, and Jamie Johnson, the kids had written on the wall, they had done a theme, I am theme. They had, I am tired, I'm weak, I'm homesick. But in the center of it, the main theme was, I am strong. And he saw that and got to thinking about that. It just hit him like a ton of bricks. And he started working on this song, and he got home, and he and his wife and a friend of theirs, Janae Flinner, finished the song and wrote it. And so when he sang the song to the folks at Cracker Barrel, they just loved it. And so this project really turned into a whole new thing when we brought that song into it, went to St. Jude, did the video. Dolly came in and did the video with us. And then now a portion of each CD sold goes to St. Jude, thanks to the folks at Cracker Barrel. And that's, that kind of made things go on a whole different level for the whole situation as far as we were all concerned, to be able to think that we could be involved with something that might help save a child's life. It's just, beyond belief for us. We're just so excited to be able to be involved with it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely. Now, you had worked with Dolly, of course, in the past. What was it like working with her again? I mean, I assume you know her very well.
Oh, yeah, she's great. I mean, she's meant so much to the Grascals from day one when we started this band. The way we hooked up with her was we happened to be recording in the same studio with the same engineer, and he played some of our stuff for her. And our fiddle player, Jimmy Mattingly, at that time had worked with Dolly, and Terry Eldridge had worked with Dolly. So she loved the stuff and called us and asked us, if we would go out on the road with her and open her shows and then be her band also. And it was just great. She is just a sweetheart of a person. And then anything we ever want, we try to be careful not to try to ask her to do too much, because she won't turn us down. She's so sweet, and we don't want to bug her to death. But when we had talked to her about this project, and this was before I Am Strong came along, and told her we'd love to do The Pain of Loving You and do a duet with Terry, like she did it after she wrote it and recorded it with Porter. And she loved that idea. boy, just having her in the studio and watching her and Terry Eldridge stand there looking at each other face to face, singing the harmony before they even went in and cut it, just working on it. It was just a really, really neat time. And she's just a great person and been just a great asset to the band. Without her, we wouldn't have. I don't know if we would have ever been able to gotten to where we've gotten, especially as quickly as we did. When you start a new band, it doesn't matter if you're veterans of the industry, which we all were. You're still a new band, but when you start a new band and hit the scene as well, they were Dolly Parton's band. That automatically gives you a big lift.
Yeah,
and we're thankful for that.
So. Yeah. Now, how did you go about picking the songs and who to ask?
Well, we ran along the road, and we started picking songs that we liked. Cracker Barrel wanted us to do. We talked about it, and we thought it would be better to do songs that would be very recognizable to people. That way when the people come in, they look at it. So we started picking out songs that we thought were recognizable that we liked, and then like we wanted to do Tiger by the Tail. So we presented it to. We asked Brad, we were going to do this song, and he picked Tiger by the Tail. He said, I would love to do that and play the guitar on it. Hey, you get what you want, brother. So, yeah, he sort of picked that. And then actually Folsom Prison Blues, we kind of picked that for dirt. We just felt like we wanted to cut that song, just felt like he'd do a great job, which he just came in and just hammered it. I think he actually, unbeknownst to us, he sings that a lot of times on his shows.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Different times. And so he came in and did a great job on that. And then we, of course, during Devil Went Down to Georgia, we thought, well, I wonder if Charlie would want to do it. And Charlie was tickled to death to come in, and he just hammered it. It was amazing. He was in some kind of a mood that day when he came in and sang it. He was just having a blast, And so that's kind of the way we did. And when we did White Lightning, we asked, we were thinking about different people, and we talked to Daryl Worley and said, would you want to do that? And he was like, man, I would love to sing on that song. So we just picked different people and presented them with the songs, and for the most part, they all loved it and jumped right in on them. And of course, the Oak Ridge Boys song we got to do with them. Now, Mr. Bojangles was one that we hadn't planned on putting on the record. We had planned on putting with Joe Nichols was going to be on the record, but he was going to actually sing an original song that Jamie had written. And then we were listening to an old J.D. Crowe live CD that somebody had given us, and Keith Whitley was singing Mr. Bojangles. And we're like, man, that would be awesome. He was just crushing it, and we thought that would be awesome for Joe to sing. So we sent it to Joe, and he loved it. So we worked it up, and was going to bring Joe in to sing the bulk of it. And Joe, his schedule was so busy, he was down to the close to the last minute being able to do it. And when he was going to go in the studio, he got an abscessed tooth and couldn't sing. So we're sitting there at the studio saying, okay, what are we going to do here? And so Terry Eldridge just started singing it, and it was lower than he usually sings. And Jamie and Smitty started singing harmony with him, and I was like, God, that sounds great. So they just went in there and sang a 3-part harmony pretty much all the way through, and we were tickled to death with the way it sounded. And then, like, the last day before we had to have the record turned in, Joe called and said, I'm feeling good. I've got a studio here at home in Texas. I can cut this that he found there in his hometown. He said, I'll cut it and send it. So he cut his part and sent it up to us, and we was able to get him on there. And, oh, my goodness, he sang the tarnation out of it, And so to me, that cut on there is just, it's one of my favorites. It's just got an extra special feel to it. And it's just, it all came together so good for us. It was, like I say, tough scheduling it, but it was all, I just feel like each artist that's on the songs worked perfectly for them.
Yeah, it's really good choice.
Tom singing Clayton Delaney.
I don't know how old he is, but he sounds great on this thing.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? I mean, I'm not sure at his age either. And I mean, he's been retired for some time, but he has been a good friend of Terry Eldridge and stuff for a lot of years. And so we got to talking about that and said, one of Tom P would want to come out and do a little bit of something more. And I mean, he came out and sang the whole thing and just sang it great. So instead of us cutting out his vocal, we decided to just sing harmony with him. and I think it worked out really, really good.
Now, have you ever tried to sort of reimagine a song in a bluegrass setting? It just won't come off in that setting at all?
Well, we have. I mean, there's a few things we've worked on. Of course, for us, we've always done different type songs. I mean, from the very first record doing Viva Las Vegas. And,
right.
Stuff like that. Our last record doing Last Train to Clarksville, it was just pulling songs from different genres. Now, there's a few songs I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it's kind of like when we get together and work on something, we'll play it through a couple of times, and you almost know it'll feel like it's going to work or not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm not sure that has really anything to do with because you're trying to do a bluegrass style or because it just maybe doesn't fit the band that's trying to do it. I think a good song can be done in any style and made work.
Right.
In my opinion, it's just kind of like it doesn't have to be, well, this song was written to be a bluegrass song or this song was written to be a country or a rock song. I think as long as the song was written to be good and is good, if it's done well by a good artist, it'll still sound good.
Yeah. There should be a sort of a universal quality to a great song, sure.
I think so.